Shindo's back with his color. You're looking D's, yo. Your arms look big today. What's going on? Been working out?
I don't know. I lifted a bunch of like 6 bags of soil.
Got that pump?
I got a pump from moving moving the dirt.
Are you guys still working out? Either of you?
I
Yeah.
know Ron just does maintenance workouts.
Yeah.
No, but
Fine
I
tuning?
no, I still have my gym pass, so that's like I what is it be?
Just to
It's
say
like
you have the gym
just to say I
pass.
have a gym pass. I don't. I keep wanting to go work out, but I'm kind of over even think. I'd be happy if I even like stretched.
I agree.
If I stretch, it's considered a good day, man.
I think the thought of like, oh, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna be healthy, and then you get to that moment, you're like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
I don't even say
And
tomorrow. Like,
tomorrow turns into 5 years. So you
yeah,
know,
I'm very momentum based when it comes to working out. So if I can get that momentum a little bit, I feel like I can work on it. But I ran basketball 3 weeks ago, and I was just
oh
like, you know
nice.
what? I was like, I'm done. I was playing against a bunch of 20-year-olds and a bunch of 30-year-olds, but the 30-year-olds didn't bother me too much. It's the 20-year-olds kept trying to freaking like cross me out and shit, and I was like, brother, I ain't got the energy and effort for this.
I don't got the ankles, bro.
I mean, my ankle, yeah. I was like, look, man, I, you know what really pissed me off, and I'm gonna be real, is I fouled a kid, and I did foul him a little bit, not hard. It wasn't like a check or anything. I grazed the kid, like when he went for a layup. He was like what 4'9". I'm 6 feet tall, so there's gonna be some contact when this guy goes up. He went up on me, so that was a little disrespectful. He goes up, I graze him. This guy called a foul because he missed, right? And I was just looking at him, and everyone on the court was like looking at him like that was just a shitty ass shot. What are you talking about, right? Because I didn't send him tumbling
That's,
or anything. And
that's the
then
new
this
NBA, man. New
and
NBA.
this kid looked at me, and he's like, "That's a foul, though, right?" And I'm like, "Look, I'm gonna respect your call because I ain't a punk, but that's a bitch ass call, right?" And I said that to him, and he's like, "No, no, but may have been a little foul." I'm like, "We don't call little fouls. If we're gonna call fouls, now I'm gonna start playing you with fouls." And then after I felt, I'm like, "Yo, man, why am I getting kind of like worked up that this kid?" Then I was like, "Fuck these kids." That's what it came down to. I'm like, "Look, man, one, I ain't trying to run
You,
on
you
these
gotta find
guys."
you gotta find a seniors league, bro, and just go in and just destroy everybody and be like, yeah.
Nah, man, I swear to God, I get schooled in a 6-year-old league too, man. I'm so out of shape.
Yo,
I'd be
that
getting
happened to me.
crossed.
I was in Glasgow, and there's like these I don't know if you've seen those Nike commercials where those pitches are cages, like the small nets.
Yeah.
So they, I don't know, it's like it looks like a small indoor soccer field for kids, but the idea is you're close contact. So these older guys were playing. I thought I'd join them because whatever, and I thought I'd be okay. They destroyed me, man. I couldn't walk the next day. But they played on another level, man.
Yeah, no, I remember they used to do soccer and the things I used to run in. They were all older guys, like, and they used to be intense with like the swearing, wanting to in position. If you let a goal in, they'd be like trying to sub you with like the most random person and telling you to run. And I'm like, I didn't come here to run. And I stopped playing. Look, man, I'm not athletic. I've accepted it.
In
Only,
There's
Ottawa, I
nothing
used to
wrong.
play with uncles. These all the uncles there, they either do cab or drive the bus there. The bus is good money.
yeah.
Man, if you missed or you didn't pass it to some guy who's open after the ball, like is out of play, tu mar ja, tu sala," this and that. Oh my god, so
They were
bad.
just letting it out, eh?
Yeah, that's their World
Yeah,
Cup, man.
so
It's their World Cup.
Yeah. I
but
I'm officially ready to try golf, like give golf to the heave ho, just because I don't
Golf's
want to
great,
run.
man.
I don't want to
Golf
run.
is great.
I'm done. Like snowboarding is cool. I'm gonna try and stay in shape for snowboarding. So I don't feel like snowboarding takes like at the pace that I snowboard. It's do your own pace type thing. So it's fun. But I'm done with basketball. I officially retired from basketball. I was
Jersey's
like,
up, eh? Jersey, hang in the
jersey's
jersey.
up.
That's
You
it.
know, if anything, it's time to like hit the course every now and then. Find a golf teacher.
Yeah, if you walk the course, it's surprisingly a good, not a workout, I would say, but
And you gotta find the right
activity
people.
intensive.
I feel
Yeah,
like I
find the
gotta
right
find the
people.
right people because the people I
Four
have
hours
right.
is a long 4 hours is a long time to spend with someone you don't like, right? So.
Yeah, no, there's people I know who, if I went golfing with them, they'd every hole be like, "Yo, what you shoot?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, shut the fuck up! Why are you talking about what am I shooting? I ain't trying to get on the PGA Tour. Why are you competing with me?" And every hole that I'm just like, so I gotta find people who don't give a fuck either.
Are you guys getting less competitive the older you get in terms of sports? Not so much work life.
No, I'm still just as competitive. That's why I don't want to be around competitive people. Because they're gonna totally try and because they're gonna try and be competitive, and I know I can't compete with them, and that's gonna piss me off more.
Fair enough.
So if I go with people,
mine streak ended on like when I started doing online gaming, and I just got ripped. I'm like, yeah, there's no point. Just come on here and get frustrated. Some 12-year-olds beating you, and you just
you're getting teabagged by an 8-year-old.
I'll go play the story mode. That's good enough for me.
Man's out here getting teabagged by an 8-year-old telling.
I'm competitive when it comes to my leagues, but like pickup, no man. Pickup, if someone tries to play competitive, I think it makes me mad actually.
See, so you're kind of in the same boat. No?
But I won't play competitive. I won't compete in pickup.
Buddy, I'm going to pick up though. Like people get weirdly, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a punk.
The second I see someone who tries too hard at pickup, I just think they're a loser.
You're like, go join a league.
Into it, man. Like fights and stuff, right?
Yeah,
but
that's
like
my
beer league or like recreation league. As long as it's a league and there's points and there's standings, then I'll be competitive.
I mean, Mayfield's gets all the competitive.
I used to talk shit to all the people who cared too much. That's the best. When they're so angry and you say something to throw them right off, it's so much fun.
No, man, I think it's time for me to like.
You're never invited to play again, but at least in that moment, it was good.
What's that game like lawn bowling? What's that called?
Lawn bowling?
Is it really just lawn bowling?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time I take up lawn bowling, or just take proper bowling up. I feel like I've never met a competitive. Actually, no, I've met
paintball tournament. Started the paintball stuff again, man. That's great.
Man, I couldn't do paintball. The amount of time that you have to be like crouching and stuff. I could take the hits from paintball. But I don't. Paintball was exhausting. No, don't. Didn't you guys?
It's a whole day, right? It's a whole day. That's the thing, right? But I think like snowboarding is crazy too. I don't think snowboarding and skiing is easy.
That's where I kind of disagree because I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm comfortable doing it. Like I can do a snowboard run really casually, and not worry about it. Like I've gone with some guys who are like, "Yo, let's race down." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, what are we racing for?" But they'll make a big deal like, "Oh, I can beat you down the hill," and I'm like, "Yes." Whereas I'll just be happy going at my pace. I don't know. I think I just need to find people, like-minded people, who want to just stroll.
Not many sports to do that, my friend. Not many sports.
I swear to God, golf, if you find the right people.
Yeah, you gotta. No, even in golf, man, people are mad competitive.
Is it just always competitive?
It's always either the competitive animal just shows his ugly head, right? It's not gonna. It's always there.
I'm such a punk. I was playing.
What was mad weird was people competitive in school. That one always threw me off. Dude, grades. Like, what's it to get your own marks? What do you care about mine? You had to beat everybody, right?
Yeah, law school, people were too competitive. You have to be very careful.
Were
you guys like showing each other your marks? That's what I don't understand. Like,
people would like give you fake notes, like in study groups, to make you get fucked on exams.
What?
Yeah.
No
wonder.
Yes.
Oh, seriously?
Seriously.
I was like legit trying to help everyone I met in school. Like I was writing people's exams. You're like, "Yo, can you start?" I'm like, "No problem."
I did it too.
I almost felt like me helping them was a disservice. That's how I kept the market competitive. So I knew that they were going to be a dumbass when they went into the industry, and that I'd be one leg above them. No, I didn't even I never thought about it like that, man. My field, honestly, you just get filtered out. There isn't no. Yeah. I felt like lawyers same. No, a shitty ass lawyer is going to get filtered out pretty quick by the market and lawsuits.
Yeah, but it'll still make money.
Just do real estate.
Let's ask Ranjit.
How long before you start real estate?
I do real estate.
Bro.
But it's easy though, right? Real estate?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
No,
it's a lot of work, but it's easy.
I think if you're connected,
it is work though. It's work.
No, if you're a good real estate agent, it's work.
Pardon?
No, not real estate agent. Law, real estate law.
Yeah, no, it's just fucking putting together papers that are automatically generated for you. As long as
Sounds
there's no
awesome.
hiccup. And the second there's a hiccup, they call me and say, we need a real lawyer. What do we do?
What's the cheapest option we can have? Let's
Yeah,
go, Raji.
it's like something in the house we're selling is broken. Can they sue my client? Like, they found
Yo,
out.
Yo, I'm be honest. I would be a real estate lawyer straight up. Easiest job in the world. If that's all it is, man, I'd do it.
It can
Sign
be
me up.
stressful. Yeah, no, it's easy.
Just talking? Well, what's the show about?
It's about nothing. It's about nothing.
Just want these guys to know you got another thing coming, bitch. I'm still around.
who are you and what do you do? Oh,
All right, guys.
Raji's got the thumb guns out. Let's go.
You got Ranjit here. I'm sitting at home in my nice office. Got the world in the back. Palm my hands. Actually, I'm talking shit. It's Friday. I'm tired.
Your wife and like people around you don't say anything about that sweater.
No,
What's wrong with the?
it's
What
Mud
is it?
wrestling with two women silhouettes.
you have your.
It's a sport, isn't it?
You don't like the silhouette of a woman? Are you sexist?
Would you rather have two men, Shinda?
I mean, if it was two men and it's at
wrong with
kabaddi,
what's wrong with the woman's body? What's wrong with
I don't know.
Oh, are
Are
they
you-
naked?
Are you still in like a frat? What's going on? You still 22?
What
My
does that
real
have to do with
question.
anything?
What's my real question? What color is your hat today?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
black.
The actual color.
it's green, dark green,
It looks
No
black.
way.
like army green.
It's black.
This guy's camera's so messed up.
It's
I
okay.
think-
It's
but
cheap.
yo, his skin tone comes out fine. It's just like
That's what he's done it for. He's Michael Jackson effect, making himself
Bro,
lighter.
no amount of makeup, Robbie, will ever fucking help you out. Okay,
Robbie's
I don't
a bit
need makeup,
lighter.
brother.
He put
you can
brighter
use your
lights on
wife's
him.
concealer all you want.
I don't need to, bro. I'm good. You know it. I know you know it.
Yo, you guys watching playoffs at all?
Yeah, I've been watching
Raptors.
some of
You
the
talking
games.
about the Raptors? Yeah.
I'm kind of sad about the Raptors, but you see what Nick Nurse tweeted out, or not tweeted out, but he said in the press conference. I really liked what he said. Still,
No, I missed it. What did he say?
so reporter obviously asked him. They're like, no, you guys are down 0-3, and no team's really recovered from an 0-3 deficit. What are your thoughts going into Game 4? And he's like, look, no one's done it yet, so I got to think that someone's gonna do it. Why can't it be us? Like, all I'm worried about is winning one game, and then we're down 3-1. And a lot of teams have recovered from 3-1. So I'm like, you know what? I dig that mentality.
I mean, what else is he gonna say, man?
Yeah, you can't quit.
It's a little bit of bad luck on the injuries end for us, and a little bit of shitty calls, which you can't really get too mad about because it's part of the game, and a little bit of out coaching.
Yeah, what was with that inbound and not covering the inbounder like that?
It is what it is, man. Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
I mean, it's always, at the end of the day, hindsight's always 2020. When Nick Nurse does something that is out of the box and it works, we're like, what a fucking genius. No one thought that would work. But, sometimes it fails. And when it fails, we're just like, what an idiot. And then, I don't know, man. I don't get too worked up on quarterback GMing anything or quarterback coaching or quarterback whatever. Or, it's after the fact. Just let it go. I don't think too many people saw Raptors winning it this year. I think most of us hoped for a first round, a 1-round win. And I don't know if people are like me who really thought we could beat the Sixers. But you lose 4 games, you can't blame it too many other things other than they beat us.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
There has to be some honesty of a 7-game series.
I mean, what was the last game like? Was it the last game, the game before, where like even their bench players stepped up, right? So when you got everybody contributing double digits, like you can blame everything you want, but their team stepped up and they just didn't. So,
But you guys have any
the end of it.
predictions
for the
Like,
Raptors,
No, not Raptors. Whatever. Outside of just the game.
the Timberwolves and
Memphis Grizzlies.
Grizzlies game, man. The 20-point deficits and the Grizzlies come back. That's pretty.
So the Grizzlies, I turned it off. I went to sleep after, but the
Grizzlies won.
Grizzlies.
They came back. Grizzlies came
Swear
back
to
and won
God.
the game.
So
Yeah.
I hate Pat Bev. I really, really, from my heart, intestines bleed. They just hate Pat Bev. But the fact that he was like making fun of Ja Morant and like just talking shit so early in the game, I was like, yo, man, kind of like this guy right now. He's hilarious.
But that's his MO, isn't it? That's the thing. That's who he is, right? That's his character.
And I hate that character, but it was pretty funny yesterday. I was laughing kind of. That is a good series. The other series, Boston, Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's a crazy upset. Eh? That's how bad Brooklyn's doing. It's crazy. I don't think anybody expected that.
I mean, I took Boston to win the series. I didn't know if I picked them to sweep or like.
Ben Simmons is coming in the next game, right?
What's he gonna do, man? Lay another egg in the playoffs? Fuck him.
Let's see.
Another guy who just
You don't know.
I viscerally
Wouldn't that be
dislike.
the crazy like story? Like he just comes out, he starts shooting all of a sudden. He's just making 3-point shots. Or it's like, who is?
So
this
he's the
guy?
turning point. He's the TSN turning point, right?
He installed hacks. He can not miss. Bro. Anyways, on that note, did we do intros? Did we finish your thumb gun thing?
Yeah, we did mine.
He just
You
said he
guys
was Ranjit.
introduce yourselves.
I'm Raj.
Oh.
You're not
You're who?
Raj. We all call
name's
you
Raj.
Robbie. Why do you stick to Raj? We all call you
That's
Robbie.
my name, brother. It's my
But
name.
we all call you Robbie. It's weird. Somebody
I
who
don't want to
doesn't
be called
know-
Robbie. I want to be called Raj.
Look, if he identifies as a Raj,
That's another thing.
if you identify as Raj, you identify as Raj. We gotta respect that.
Fuck
Yeah, man.
that.
My
No.
labels are my labels. Respect me.
No. Then it's weird. I now have to call
Okay,
you
call me,
Raj.
call me Rajbir. Call me my full name. I'm okay with that.
What do you want? What do you want to be called?
Honey.
Aklan, fuck.
I will call you Honey.
Man,
PewDiePie.
I'm Shinda Singh, and that is my intro. I have nothing to add to that. I have nothing.
Oop, there it is.
Whoop. Anyways, you guys see that Robbie talked about this. You mentioned it. The boxing. What's the guy's name?
Oh yeah, so Dylann Cheema was this gentleman's name, and he is the lightweight. I think he won a lightweight championship in the UK.
Did he win a championship or did he just win his fight?
A belt, I think. He won the belt. He won the lightweight championship.
That's
He's a
pretty dope.
7-0
Boxer series.
7-0 See, a 7-0 pro, right?
Yeah, so I mean, the controversy is not. I mean, with that, it's obviously when he won, he had a Nishaan Sahib with him, and he was using that as his flag. And there's been a bit of controversy around it regarding everything from should he have used it or the shape of it. There's all these weird discussions that popped up on Twitter. So, was wondering your guys' insights or takes on any of that.
I love it.
First of all, it was in England, right?
Yeah, England.
Yes, it was. It was in England. Yes.
Yeah, so some Englandies got their kachis and not. I mean, typical.
Yes. Was it
Yeah.
okay? Let's start with this. Is it wrong
No, man.
for a Mona boxer to
Look,
carry the flag out?
context
Wait,
means
what-
everything. If this guy's at a club with a friggin' Nishaan Sahib waving the Nishaan Sahib, yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
cut. We ain't
That's
allowed
stupid,
that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you're, just messing around, you're rocking around with a Nishaan Sahib, doing stupid shit like fungi in your driveway and you have your Nishaan Sahib flying just for jokes, yeah, that's stupid too. You just beat the shit out of someone, won the title, and, after 10 minutes, and you decide to raise a flag against a Nishaan Sahib, fuck yeah, I'm down with that.
Nice.
Yeah,
What about
I'm
you,
just
Randy?
I'm gonna echo Shinda's point to a certain extent. I mean, I don't have an issue with it being in a club. No. I'll check it.
Well,
Choose your words carefully, Spot.
So look, yeah, I mean, look, man,
see Persian.
like with the towels.
yo, like Caravana, right? People have
Yeah.
pretty flags there. They have Guyanese flags there, going up. Yo, if Khalistan dropped tomorrow, and these crack Khalistanis went into a club and just started, getting plastered and raising a chance, I mean, it's gonna happen. No one's gonna make a big deal about it. But that being said, what do
you mean no one's going to make an issue of it?
no one will make it if Khalistan happened tomorrow and people got smashed and partied in the streets with an
Yeah, no one. That's not what they're gonna remember.
No one is gonna give a fuck Zero
seriously.
fucks will be given. Nobody will even draw attention
That's a pass.
to that.
That's like it's okay.
Yeah. So what
That's
you
so
just said
wild.
will happen. Okay.
It's,
Anyways.
it's wild to think because
Anyways.
I do agree with that. If when stuff like this happens, the people who drink and are kind of down, they get lasered. Like they'll get plastered regardless, and they're gonna represent for the cause. So
Yeah.
no,
And no
I've
pub
been
will
ar-
give a shit.
I've been around.
Nobody will stop. Yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely make a tweet about it. Be like, look at these plastered idiots. This is what we fucking fought for.
And that tweet will be buried. And yeah, that's exactly what will happen. But yeah, I mean, the dude, I saw his speech. I didn't really know anything about this controversy. He seems like a kid who's really proud of his heritage. He's gone 7-0. Like, fuck him. It's his identity. I'm not going to tell him what he is and isn't. I'm going to tell Robbie that his name is Robbie, but this kid, he's a champ. Robbie, you're not a champ. So,
Your heart, I
yeah,
am. Just
man,
of your heart.
dude, big ups on him. Great job. I said big ups because he's a UK kid. But what was the deal with Nishaan sub? Like, what was the controversy around the design?
I mean,
Was
there
it
was
like
some.
traditional?
There was
Was it
yeah.
traditional Nishaan sub or what?
I think it was a square. The one. I think it's on his lap. So that was one of the first things. Like the people felt he was disrespecting it, or one person supposedly. But my question is, what's the official shape? Is there an official shape? Does it have to be a triangle or a square?
They've traditionally been trying. I don't think the shape changes what it signifies and what it means. So it's just because you make a square versus triangle doesn't change.
So is it? So are we in agreement that it's more the moment and how you use it rather than the actual fabric itself?
I think the context matters. Yeah, I don't think if it's a square or a triangle makes any difference.
Because people were going on about it, but then I'm like, I'm pretty sure in the Godwara there's a box full of ramals the same shape as Nishaan sub with some kandes on it that I've wrapped around my head. So that was my confusion with it. I'm like, the context matters, right? You're
Aren't
not really.
ramals mostly diamond though?
Nah, bro, they're triangles.
Really?
Triangles.
Yeah,
The
says the, guy
Gothurons are
who,
triangles.
says the guy who ties them, right?
Okay. I mean, I haven't. I always thought like they were just like squares that you kind of rotate so they're
No,
diamond.
man, triangles,
and then-
triangles with kande on them.
There's those two, but shouldn't the ones that you get the Gothura are little triangles?
I see what the Gurdwara did there. They realized that you could save fabric by cutting it in half
Yes.
and getting the same. gotta appreciate the frugality of that. But
I had
So
a
is it-
phase. I had a phase where I wanted to get a Kanda tattoo, and it was gonna be the old school, original Khalsa
What's the original?
tattoo.
Sorry, what's the original?
The one with that was adopted by the Khalsa, like right after the Visakhi 1699. So, Sarohi, Tal, and Qatar.
and where were you gonna get these tattooed? On your chest, arm?
Yeah.
What are we talking here?
I'd rather not say. I'd rather not say. And there's gonna be a lion as well. So got the starter package.
Were you gonna do like a tiger on the
You
upper
didn't
arm?
want to do like the Conor McGregor with the share popping out of your chest
No.
with a kanda in the mouth.
I'm
that
just
kind of
gonna say
business.
because it's still a good idea. There's a tiger.
Buddy, if you put anything on your chest, you wouldn't even be able to see it.
No, I know. Maybe on my butt.
Why the hair would represent the forest for the lion coming out.
I'm just saying, I think people make stupid. See, Twitter's a weird thing, right? Because say you're just openly ranting about like a random thought that you had, like, yo, this kind of looks sus. Now all of a sudden people are like jumping on you for making, and now they made it a bigger deal by acknowledging your small mundane tweet. And
I
just
see,
like
okay.
the interaction makes it a lot bigger than what it actually is,
I
and what
mean,
you ever intended.
to be fair, you put it out in the world, right? It's a thought.
No, you put it out in the world, but like, was it a big thought? Was it a thought that you wanted to build momentum around or try to like rally cry and create this activist? Like, say someone's like, yo, man, isn't that kind of sus that that thing's in his lap, and all of a sudden everyone's jumping in it and they want to get on the discussion. Now you have a discussion that you didn't really think would grow, but has grown out of it. Does that make it a controversy?
Yeah. And
I mean-
the lap thing, like, it's not Bonnie. Like, the symbol itself is not Bonnie or anything like
Yeah,
that.
but so
There
this
is an inherent with like even all Canadian flags, all national flags. You're not supposed to put them on the ground or touch the
Yes,
ground.
respect. Just a general
Yeah.
respect. Okay.
But-
So I mean, once this is my ignorance coming up again. The Nishaan Sahib at the Gurdwara, is there a religious aspect to that? Or is that just more identity and recognizing that?
Look,
Yeah.
I know,
You know,
I
the
know.
ceremony. I remember the ceremony putting it up, and I'm just asking in general because I'm not familiar with it.
Is there religious
Is that
significance? I know.
is that more cultural, or is that something tied into a religion?
No, like the actual khanda itself isn't it. That's not something that's existed from 1699. The khanda itself, right? So whether it was on an
Okay.
Nishaan sub or whether it was printed, that was a shape and a symbol that kind of was accepted a lot later on from, and we've collectively accepted that this is what it represents, this is what it means. And so when
Yes.
anything like that happens, we attribute a certain amount of respect to it,
Yes.
and because what it means collectively, right? It represents the Sanghat, it represents
Okay.
our faith in as a community. It's a sign of our community. It like has a communal value to it. Uh, but the one thing I was always taught when I was like from like my ustads and people who were I learned a lot of with about Sikhi from, they're like certain things, if they offend you, you got to reevaluate why they're offending you and whether or not what the context of that like offense is.
Mm.
Right? And they went as far as saying, look, when people say that so and so is insulting Guru Sahib, is Guru Sahib that small to be insulted? And now how would Guru Sahib react to this if someone was saying this to Guru Sahib directly? And they used to always kind of say this from a Nimrata kind of perspective. And they were just like, look, I realize people get heated about certain things. They're just like, getting heated about situations is a detrimental to what you're trying to learn here. So before you jump into these controversies, take 2 steps back and realize that what you perceive as being disrespectful sometimes lowers the significance of the whole thing. I don't know if that makes
Cool.
sense.
No,
right?
that does make sense. It's a cool way of looking at it. Yeah.
That's so
It's
big
kind
of you, Shane. But
So
going back to the other point, like the history of a man.
Point.
From my,
Point. You got a point from me.
yeah.
yes.
My understanding of it, and shout out to Jung and Hung. I wish he would be my friend. He's probably the real authority on this
You
shit.
don't have friends. There's a reason.
I know, but I wish he'd be my friend. Anyways, my understanding was like pre-Khalsa, all the Masals, they each had their own flag, right? So before the formation of Khalsa, there was a bunch of popular ones. I think there's one with like Shiv on it and a sword. Then there's the one with the Qatar, and Saroi. And there's a few other ones, but that one beat out the others as far as acceptance goes. People started using that one more, but they're just battle standards for each Masal. And then SGPC, I don't know how it came around, but I think this is pretty relatively modern, the one that we see at Gurdwara now.
You know, it'd be jokes if they did it like sports team. You know, when sports team is kind of like coming into shape, they ask all the fans to send in their fan ideas.
Yeah.
Like everyone contribute your new.
Randy's tattoo would show up in those recommendations. I'm telling you.
Hondo.
And when
There's
Hondo
got to be a lion. There should be a tall.
has to be a lion.
Saroi, Qatar, and a lion, like the Tamil
Well,
Tigers.
Talking about, well, let's hope that flag always is flying. So, I mean, talk about things flying. You guys hear about Sunwing this week and the chaos they've been getting through with all their flights being canceled?
No, not at all. Tell me.
So supposedly believe they use a third party who is responsible for their check-in process, and they were supposedly hacked. So essentially, all those flights, I think in the last week, flights have been delayed a week, not week, sorry, hours and days, and there's no communication. Is it acceptable in today's time to an airline not to have a backup system to kind of be up in a day?
This issue has popped up with all the Canadian airlines at some point or another. There's been an outage. But for like, I'll say WestJet and Air Canada, it's like a matter of hours or maybe a day. Or they contain it to like certain, maybe just, US flights or whatnot. So it does happen. With Sunwing, it's pretty bad that it's been days now. Has it been a week?
It's been at least a few days in the news cycle. So
That's nuts. That's nuts. It sucks for them because, man, like that
I
sector
think
as a whole, they need to like pick it up now that people are flying again. But man, shit happens. What can you say?
Sunwing's interesting because when I was coming back from the UK on my last flight, when I was finished my time there as a student, excuse me, for some reason Sunwing had introduced a London flight. I'm like, man, cheap, I'll take it. I'll get home one way, I'll take it. I get to Heathrow Gatwick, sorry, can't remember. and check-in goes fine, and I have everything with me. So I'm like trying to save weight. I got things in my pocket and whatever I get through. Literally for 9 hours we waited. All I kept saying was delayed. 3 hours later, delayed. 3 hours later, delayed. Dude, the airport has shut down, and the staff in Heathrow came out. They come out and say, "We can't reach Sunwing. We don't know where your plane is, and the airline's not communicating with us." And my question was, well, why do you guys keep putting delayed? So there's this whole plane full of people. They don't know what to do. Sunwing didn't even organize a hotel for the night, and so whatever the airport organized that for us. They took us to a hotel, and then next day we come back and they go, "Oh, your flight's back on," and no one's believing it. Essentially, what had happened is something had gone wrong with one of the engines on the inbound flight, and that grounded the flight essentially. And then they had to fly another engine from Seattle.
The engine of a
From
plane.
Seattle, the engine of a plane. And that's fine. Like you said, shit happens. But no one communicated any of this. They have this plane full of people for 2 days. We didn't know what was going on. We just waited and waited and waited. And finally, I'm like, yo, I'm never going on Sunwing. And I never did. And like, it's the communication, right? That makes it more annoying than anything. But yeah, man, that was my first and last experience with Sunwing. So never went again.
I've never flown with Sunwing, and I've never flown with a lot of these discount airlines. I know they pop up a lot. I think there's like a Rhino Air and another one's popping up recently, which gives like a $60 flight to BC with no baggage, no luggage or anything.
Links.
Yeah, so there's all these airlines, and I'm always telling them like, yo, this is dirt cheap. How can it go wrong? But at the same time, like I don't have that flexibility of missing a flight or being stranded. You know what I mean? For some people, like if you're in certain situations, you have the flexibility a little better. I just don't have it, so I've avoided these airlines, and I don't like the fact that I don't know what my actual ticket is until I complete checkout with every single bag and carry on, and they ask for your weight, and I don't know. They've always kind of been a little. I've always been skeptical of.
Have you guys flown Ryanair?
I
have not.
Yeah,
and EasyJet.
The Ryanair is the best. You don't even get a seat. You run for the seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a bus, man.
Holy
so,
shit.
Or it used to be that. It used to be that. Maybe it's changed, but that was back in the day.
So Robbie, with Sunwing, like they must have. I didn't even know they tried this, but it must have been just a trial. They were trying to like expand into Europe and probably failed horribly. I think they only fly to Europe in the peak summer months now.
Yep, it was the summer. Yep.
Otherwise, they just do like Mexico and like those sun destinations, and that's it.
Can you imagine my feeling that the engine had failed? And I'm
You're
about to
like,
get
I
on
don't
this plane. I'm like, I gotta get home, man.
You know what? Like as someone who knows planes, though, like that's not such a big deal. Like I get it.
Yeah, but I was a broke student. I didn't have. I'm like, yo, that's the only option I got, right?
You're like, well, this is how it goes. But what's weird is I don't understand the actual. So you're saying their database got hacked and they no longer know who booked tickets, or
no? I think it's they have a third party they use for their check-in process, and that third party got hacked. So whatever that third party was responsible for checking in, I guess communicating who had booked and booking references, that didn't exist, and so they have to do everything by hand, right?
And they're just not doing it now by hand, or because I
just don't think anyone's. I don't think anyone's ready. I don't like. Do you have those redundancies built into a system that look, if this third party goes down, here's how we proceed? Yeah, I don't. That's my question. In today's day and age, is that acceptable?
No.
Like, come on, man. You've had.
Is it acceptable?
Time.
No, and it's going to hurt their business for sure, right? Like, how much money are they losing? Unless they're not refunding it and they're holding everyone's thing and they're going to go to. I mean, eventually this shit's going to cost you. So if you're a business and you want,
vouchers for a free meal, hot meal.
Like, look, you got to, if you want to be in big business and you want to continue to stay in business, you need to have backups. Not even just backups of your data, but backup plans. If this doesn't work on this day or you can't connect to the internet, what do? Do we just ground all our flights until the internet comes back up? Or do we have a backup like phone system that we can call? I don't know. I just feel like it's unacceptable for a company, any company, big or small, to not have backup plans. And if you do, or if you don't, the market's going to take care of you and you're just going to get wiped out by companies that can guarantee.
Do you think we're getting too complacent as well, right? Like in a lot of the technology that we have, it just works. Why, they don't even think twice about it failing. They just assume it's always going to work. I mean, that isn't that the essence of tech, right?
Yes and no. Like when you're a company, like enterprise companies, when they sign up for tech or they sign up for a service or they were to adopt a third-party service like Sunwing did here, they sign SLAs service level agreements guaranteeing a certain level of uptime, certain quality that we expect from you, and if you don't live up to this quality, we're gonna get refunded on this much or something. So I'm sure Sunwing has something in place with these guys. It's whack that, like, what if it's just the fact that, look, they do have the backups, they do have all this stuff in place, but now the bug that keeps getting the company hacked, they don't know where it exists. So every time they go online, it just goes back down right away. So they can't turn their systems back on. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm thinking might be affecting these guys, but I don't know. I don't think it's acceptable. If I was a Sunwing customer, I'd be pissed, and I probably wouldn't go or use Sunwing. I've never have, and probably never will.
Yeah, well, if they have that problem now, they're probably going to be looking into a new system soon. But a lot of these airlines use these old like 1995 systems for their reservations, like, and they've like patchworked it to keep on updating with today's systems. I think banks do that as well, to be honest.
Enterprise, you'd be surprised. Like, I've had a chance to work on some enterprise systems. The code base is so fragile because the cost that it would take to rewrite it or push it out, it scares the people at top. They're like, hold on, if we do this, do we know what it could affect? And everyone's like, you keep coming across like, oh, this system's running on this and it's dependent on this existing. If we replace this, this might not work. And if this does, like, all these small little cogs are in place, and it's the wildest thing we have right now with tech, like how fragile some legacy systems are. Did I lose you guys?
Speaking of legacies.
Am I cutting out or are you guys cutting out?
No.
I don't know. My electricity just blinked. That's what happened with me.
Okay.
That's what happened to you.
Yeah. So I'm on hotspot right now. I was like, forget it. I can't
Oh, wow.
rely on the internet.
Never again.
Look, the
Never
fact that
again.
you have a backup in place is already ahead of Sunwing.
I'm better than Sunwing.
Oh, man.
Speaking of legacies, Putin's legacy. What, you guys still keeping track of the war or what?
No.
Honestly, are we kind of done? Like, is the like, are we just accepting that it's happening now? I mean, like, I'm just like, yeah, war, and I just move on to the next story. I know that's awful, but what do you? Is that what you guys are? Like, are you still reading in depth?
Yeah, I still watch a lot of videos of like soldiers there with their GoPros because it's fucking crazy. But yeah, it looks like it's dying down a little bit in the news cycle. Although the governments, man, like, they're still pumping out weapons. Like, 3 countries, U.S., Denmark, and Czechs, they give like a lot of heavy weapons now to Ukraine. It's kind of crazy how bold everybody's kind of getting and being like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna give you attack helicopters and tanks and shit now. So countries are
Does
getting
Ukraine
more
have any
emboldened.
soldiers left to fly them, though? Like, don't you got to get these guys this stuff
Yeah.
before they keep losing?
They
the last
do.
I heard is Mariupol. There was like 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers stuck in a warehouse,
Yep.
and Putin's just kind of playing
Whack-a-mole.
trap the mouse with them, essentially,
So
like just
how
waiting.
how it's worked so far is the Donbass region. It's a bunch of forests and a lot of open land. So the Russians were able to take that quickly. Plus, they have a lot more local support there. It's like heavy Russian speaking, and that area was always kind of contested. But then the rest of the country, where they haven't really moved in, that's more urban. And in the urban areas, that's where Ukraine has not had heavy losses, but the Russians have. And that's where the tanks and shit are like, they've lost their advantage there. So now that the Russian strategy for the war has kind of changed, they're no longer after Kiev and shit. They're just like strictly going for the Donbass region, which Mariupol falls within. Like, now the edge is on the Russians because they have this area that's already occupied by them. And it's pretty flat, forest heavy, and easy for tanks to get around. And that'll be, if Ukraine's going to head there probably now, that's when like heavy losses are going to happen.
I just got all my news updates from what Ranji just said, because clearly he's the only one who's been paying
I'm
attention.
fucking following it.
Honestly, I'm like, wow, that's pretty detailed. All right, thanks, Ranjit, for that report.
I mean, look, my Twitter
Execution, though.
feed's kind of died down from Russia-Ukraine coverage. The last thing I saw that really caught my attention was people catching certain Russian infantry and Russian unit rocking Nazi flags and insignia. And they're like, and then that had me like, holy shit, Russians are got a lot of Nazis in their army too, it seems. And
Yeah,
remember though,
So are we saying Eastern Europeans aren't racist? Are you surprised
No,
that there's a few of them?
no, I'm
I'm
just-
confused.
it's just funny, right? Because one of Putin's main things for going in was to go after these Nazi regiments in the Ukrainian army, right?
That was last week's excuse. Now he needs another one, right?
And then I'm like, meanwhile, you got like the Russian Nazi unit. I'm like, hold on, Russia has Nazi units
It's like
and stuff
I heard Russia's like the worst place for like a soccer team to play.
with the racism
in their
and stuff.
stadiums with the racism. So I mean, are we
yeah.
surprised? Come on, let's.
Surprised, no,
You know.
but like, I don't know. It's kind of like, hey, so you guys have the exact same. Then it made me think, like, do the Nazis fight the Nazis? Like, do the Russian Nazis hate the Ukrainian Nazis? Do they consider the other Nazi not Nazi enough? Like, how's that play out? And where do the German Nazis stand in on this?
Nazi missiles just fighting each other.
Yeah.
They also hired this. The Russians hired this mercenary group called the Wagner Group, and
Wagner?
their leader has a fucking like Nazi tattoo in the center of his chest. Like it's crazy. The fucking
Isn't it wild that the Nazis are so relevant today as they were almost whatever years ago?
People think it's cool, right? That's all it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, they think it's cool. I'm not saying it's cool. I'm just saying people.
As in
Of that.
Nazis?
Oh, sorry.
Nazis.
I'm looking at the
Sorry.
picture of the guy. He doesn't have a Nazi thing on his chest. He has the SS tattoo.
Oh, not a tattoo like the one you're gonna get, just on the back.
Yeah, no. So he
Yeah.
has him on his shoulders, like the lapels or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has the SS. That's what he has.
interesting.
Yeah.
We
Well-
live in wild times.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
talking about other governments. UK made some changes in their refugee policy. Is this Preet Patel who's come? What's her name?
She's the face of it. Yeah. So Rob,
Yeah, she's
you keeping track of this?
I've read about it.
Okay, give the context. I would love to.
I
hear
think
your
this is
thoughts.
more Shinda brought this up more than me. I've just read a blurb on it, but I mean, my take from it is that they're trying to change the refugee. I think it's the asylum. Whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
regulation.
refugees, asylum seekers, yeah.
Instead, as they're being processed, rather than process them within the UK, they'll send them to Rwanda. Right? Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, pretty much it. They're like, look, how they're packaging it is they're like, yo, all these asylum seekers, they're coming across the English Channel in these dinghies.
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 They come across the channel in these dinghies. They're very dangerous. They're paying, they're paying human traffickers, and these aren't like human traffickers like we just help fucking asylum seekers across. They're like organized crime, where they're putting cash in their hands and getting them across into England. So then they're like, fuck it. How do we discourage this shit? Like, all right, anybody who comes here for asylum, we're gonna ship your ass to Rwanda and settle you there. All right. And the point being, like, Rwanda is great. They're an autocracy. They get a good reputation for fucking taking refugees and having asylum seekers settle there, and they get paid. They get paid for doing this. Okay. And then for England, if you keep on sending thousands of refugees each year to Rwanda, at a certain point, no one's gonna fucking want to go there as a refugee.
But I mean, let's talk about human rights. Are we just saying like forget it? We don't care.
Do refugees have a right?
Asylum seekers. Are we not? If someone is being persecuted and they are identify themselves a refugee and escaping their country for a certain danger, and they are seeking asylum, are we basically saying that doesn't exist anymore? Go to Rwanda. Someone will be there to help you.
No, they'll seek asylum. We're just gonna send you to a safe haven in Rwanda.
I mean, technically, like,
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
Is she a genius or is she?
it's an interesting concept, right? It's kind of like, look, you wanted safety, and you're just fleeing from your country. You're not coming here for anything else that we provide other than our safety and protection. So here's another country that we're gonna, funnel you to, which offers the exact same thing. GG's, like, good luck.
The question is what happens when they're there and they're being processed.
If they're being prosecuted
is
in
there
Rwanda,
an actual route to get back? It doesn't mean you stay in Rwanda. You're just there for processing.
oh, so you do
No.
the
What are you talking
resettling.
about?
No. My assumption was as they process your asylum claim to get into the UK that you wait in Rwanda. That's the way I read it. I might be wrong, so I apologize. That's what I was thinking. That you wait in Rwanda, and then once you've been approved, yeah, we'll give you access to UK.
So hold on.
Because you're seeking asylum in the UK, not Rwanda.
Hold on. I thought they were just like, yo. So hold on.
Here, I'll bring it up like as you guys talk. But that was my.
So the way you make it sound is like Rwanda is now the waiting room for England. It's like the lobby and the doctor.
That's the way I took it. Yeah.
It's like before you enter here, let us.
Dude,
here's where you.
The first article that pops up, it says Denmark's is in talk as well.
No, so to be honest, like think about it. Every country, every G7 country, they're probably looking at this like, fuck, like we're spending so much money on social services and shit like that.
Yeah.
Why not just put them? Fine. Yeah, I thought it was actually a full resettlement, but put them in this waiting room. You know where it's.
Yeah, it does. It just says they're asylum centers in a partner country.
I know. I'll be honest.
It's a plan to relocate
look,
asylum
Canada,
seekers to
US.
Rwanda.
This sounds bad. I don't know why it sounds bad, but I have to say it sounds bad at the surface of it. But part of me thinks this is genius. I can't fail to not see
The
the
question is, do they stay in Rwanda or do they?
get
And,
relocated.
and I see Canada, US, Australia, all these like G7 countries.
Hold on. Aren't we
Oh,
technically that for the US?
Huh?
Aren't we kind of like that for the US, where people come here with their refugee claims until all that paperwork gets processed, and then all of a sudden they're like, look, now that we're in Canada, let's see what's available in the
this
US.
is crazy. Like on Sky News, there's the first article: asylum seekers will go into hiding to avoid UK government's Rwanda plan. Some people seeking refuge in the UK say they don't believe the government's assertion that Rwanda is a safe country and will treat them well. And it's literally a picture of two Sri Lankan refugees sitting there waiting
Because they don't want to be in Rwanda. I understand where white conservatives come from when they're like, we don't want you coming in here raising our taxes, not contributing back to the taxes, while your refugee asylum stuff gets thing, especially when it's large numbers of refugees. At the same time, being a refugee sucks. No one is voluntarily a refugee. I know people scam the refugee system, but I think the system. I don't know if this improves that system at all.
I'm still trying to find the answer to that question, but the Archbishop of Canterbury, which is the head of the church in England, said that the government's plan to send asylum seekers to Rwanda is the opposite nature of God.
What is Rwanda hell now? Like, should Rwandans feel insulted that they don't think they can?
Hey man, would you want to go to India? If someone said India's any of these countries, any third world country, you're like, well, that's not where I was planning on going, right?
Let's say you're escaping a third world country and you're just asked to wait in another third world. Is it that big of a life change for you? I don't know. I feel like if you're legitimately a refugee, escaping prosecution from a war area, whatever, you're just happy to get out of that area. So if you got to wait in Rwanda while that happens, or you have to wait somewhere else while that happens, maybe you're okay with that. I think the big problem is if you're, going to UK, you're going there because you feel like there's a community there that you can like be a part of or get into, which might not exist in Rwanda.
Does Rwanda need people? Is that like why Rwanda?
They want money, man. Cash rules everything around.
Money, yeah, they get money. They get like a good reputation, right? Because otherwise, like they're not a democracy by any means.
Really? So I don't know. I just know the movie Hotel
This is the
Rwanda.
first time that happened either. Like if everybody remembers, all these Syrians that were going to Italy and Greece, like a lot of Greece pushed back and sent a lot of these Syrians to Turkey, right? So people getting sent rerouted from the country they settled in, these asylum seekers, and getting pushed to another countries. It's been happening for a while. And yeah, I read the same thing about Denmark, also looking into it. So if for like I think a lot of G7 countries, it's like, yo, England, you shouldn't do this, but let's see how this works out.
You want to send us your notes?
It's a pilot project, right? Like that's the test tube. There's how it works out. If it works out great, then fuck it.
I mean, I'm sure this is doing great for Boris's base. Like, I can't imagine that this isn't.
I found the answer here. So it goes, how would the Rwanda trial scheme work? This is BBC. It would say the UK would screen asylum seekers without delay after their arrival in the UK and then provide Rwanda with the basic details of each person it wanted to have transferred. Rwanda would have to approve all requests before they were transferred, and the arrangement would last for 5 years. After arriving in Rwanda, each asylum seeker would be given accommodation and support and would be free to come and go from their accommodation at all times. If successfully processed, the asylum seeker will be offered long-term accommodation in the African country. Those who are not recognized as asylum seekers by Rwandan authorities will be removed to a country they have the right to reside in. The UK would also resettle a portion of Rwanda's most vulnerable refugees in the UK. So they're taking some, not all. They're leaving them in
Maybe
Rwanda.
someone you can make a case that they have a connection to the UK, right? Like maybe family there or something to help them resettle.
Were you naturally? I was just naturally against this because of Preeti. So, the minute I saw it was her, I was like, I'm against it. Doesn't matter what she does.
I understand, I feel like Trump would try something like this and it'd be, loved by his base and hated by liberals. But I can see...
with Mexicans?
Yeah, but I can also see liberals kind of doing something of similar ilk and saying, look, this is really helping the population of Rwanda and helping build that country's economy up. So maybe it is, I don't know.
But I mean, but Boris is not the smartest tool in the shed either. Did you hear about his India trip this week? Or just today, he's in India, and the first thing he does, he climbs up on a tractor, and I guess this is a big donor in the UK. I forgot the tractor's name off the top of my head, and they do bulldozers, and it's clearly like a BJP, pro BJP, and those same bulldozers have been used to demolish Muslim communities with I don't know which town. I'm not gonna misquote
it's
that.
In Delhi, Jangir.
Yeah, so. I just John. Boris ain't the smartest. Yeah, he's not the sharpest tool, man. And a side of me thinks he doesn't care.
I don't think he cares, but
I
think,
give a shit.
You ever watch these Boris highlight reels? Boris's funniest moments.
Yeah, Boris is the mayor of London, man. He does dumb shit.
He says dumb shit. Remember when he was in a Gurdwara and he's like, "I love sex and your the whiskey." And he's in a Gurdwara saying this, and people are like eyeballing each other, like, cut that line out.
He just gets a pass, man. That's his thing, right? He always gets a pass.
He's so goofy. He's like that goofy kid who just says dumb shit.
You touched on this India thing. I don't know if I should say this. I think it's an unpopular opinion, but that place could use some bulldozing. Yo. Check this, okay?
Yeah. All right. No wonder this guy's all about Delhi. Yo, where's your BJP scarf? I know it's back there somewhere.
So Jangirpuri is from my house like 4 kilometers. So I've traveled by there many times. Imagine this, okay? You guys are familiar with the Steeles and her Ontario intersection?
Yes.
So there is a bus stop, a gas station, and a restaurant and a grocery center on the 4 corners, okay?
And always a preacher on Saturdays yelling from
really?
megahorn.
I've never seen this preacher, but...
So imagine this. Imagine where the bus stand is. Little, stalls are set up to sell, hot dogs, coffee, newspapers, and little things like that, okay? So now you have a bunch of stalls set up. Now people are standing, on the edge of the road and on the sidewalk and around these shops. They've kind of encroached. Same thing happens on the other side, same thing happens on the other side, same thing happens on the other side, because these businesses, these small little roadside businesses are doing well. People who are normally panhandling are, I'll do that, I'll make some money. Okay, that happens for 5 years. Now the encroachment goes a little bit further and further. We're talking about Steeles and fucking her Ontario. This is a fucking artery for the fucking city, okay?
Oh, can I just pose a quick question?
What?
No one put in metal barriers, like in every other major city in the world.
No metal. What metal barriers are they going to put on Steeles?
No, they could. It would stop the encroachment, and that's it. They could. End of the problem.
Let's say they have it.
That's the end of the problem.
They have it.
That's the end of it. So bulldoze them,
dude. That's what's happened now is these encroachments on encroachments have fucking resulted in huge streets that are supposed to let through a lot of traffic. They're choke points now. It's fucking nuts. And this city, the traffic is so
it's still the government's fault.
Debilitating. Anyways, it is the government's fault for fucking letting it happen. But whatever excuse they need to fucking bulldoze and clear some fucking roads for my peace of mind, I'm fucking okay with. Okay.
So are there? I'm assuming there's some people living in those
But dude, they're not just Muslim, they're Hindus too.
No, just there's people living in there, right? So your answer is just to bulldoze a community rather than to relocate.
Yeah. It's India. They'll resettle somewhere. Okay.
I'm still trying to conceptualize what this
Nothing
whole
will
thing
kill
is.
Indians.
Like, I'm trying to conceptualize like your steals for Ontario. Okay. So the people there right now, is it really just a slum that grew bigger and
It's not a
bigger?
slum. It's not a slum.
It's like two strip malls on either side of the street, right? Is that the ascent?
It's a middle class neighborhood. Even fucking upper class, because that real estate is fucking expensive there actually. So like those little tea huts that these people are encroaching on, like it's a lot of money because fuck, the property values in Delhi are insane. So they are all illegal in the sense that like people built these structures without a permit and without any city planning involved. They just built it, and because no one did anything for a long time, they're like, fuck it, this is our home now. That's what's happened.
Still, bulldozing's a bit harsh, isn't it?
I mean, look, they should be given notice, maybe resettle them somewhere else. But
For Rwanda.
Some people, I think you live in the Steels and Highway 10 area, right? Some people
I
feel that way currently, that it should be bulldozed altogether.
fucking, they are
they
going to
don't.
bulldoze that area. Shoppers will get bulldozed soon, but
No, Shoppers Road is turning into a condo. I thought they got
yeah,
it.
it's getting all
Condos, man.
bulldozed and
The
turning
condo,
into condos. Yeah,
Um,
that whole area,
like a
It's
mall
gonna be
condo.
demolished. No, not mall condo, condos.
So the mall's gone.
Mall's gone.
I'm kind of sad about
Damn.
that.
End of an era. I
Holy
never went to
smokes.
Shoppers World, so
I grew up at Shoppers World. That was like my. They had the arcade there. I had the Jumbo Video. I mean, I'm really aging myself because the Jumbo Video was gone by the time I was in mid high school. The Jumbo Video shut down.
free popcorn. Shout out.
Free popcorn was dope. I don't know, man. I just remember being a little kid there, and my parents would take me to Shoppers World, and it was the greatest like trip ever because they had arcades.
The
They had a
arcade,
comic book
God,
store.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I love
getting
it.
off. I was going to say, getting off, obviously, Delhi city planning. Let's talk about our own province and everyone's everybody's favorite hero right now, or anti-hero, the Dougler, as we so affectionately have nicknamed him. He's been in the news recently. Did you guys hear about this development that he's trying to pass through? I don't forget how many units it is. He's basically just passing things through left, right, and center, and
He's getting shit done, man. He's getting things done
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
fair enough.
always
Absolutely.
criticized him for not doing it. He's getting things done. When we look back at his 4-year record, he's gonna have a huge list of things he, accomplished. And I'm gonna say, good job, Doug. Here's a vote.
Yo,
So you are full
my,
on Team Doug, right? You're
my criticism of
I mean,
this
what-
is like, fuck, like, come on, man. Just do this consistently throughout your term. Don't just do it all at
that's
the
my
end.
problem. It's very.
But other than that, like, fuck it. It's great. Other than that, it's fucking great.
You know, at university, when they said, look, as long as you get your coursework in by the end of the semester, you'll get a grade on it. I'm same way with Dougie. You have your get in all the things you wanted by the end of your term. I'm gonna grade you on that at the end of your term, not during. There is no cumulative
I'll put it this way,
average.
like, I mean, okay, fine, he's getting things done, but like the Highway 413, the route that he was supposed to take is not the route that he was suggested to take, and conveniently, it's gone through all of his donors' lands, like a lot of it. And so there's a whole Toronto Star article highlighting where his donors' lands fall in, and the proposed route is nowhere near where he's actually put it. So, I mean, at some point, you don't think so?
So I think the 413 is interesting because this thing's gone through
Like Doug
so
Ford doesn't
many.
listen to science tables and advisory. We know this, right? Can we at
No.
least can we admit that much? Let's
he
be
does.
honest.
Hold on.
First of
How-
all, in the area that the fucking 413 is going through, the 413,
Yeah, yes.
you could throw a rock in any direction, you're going to hit a fucking conservative supporter.
No, that's okay. I agree with
Right?
you. I'm not talking about the.
So
No,
the
no,
demographic there,
but he went against-
they're all his donors.
He went against the proposed route. A little
No.
bit suspect, no?
I mean, I
A
don't.
little bit. Is that not? Are we not? Are we gonna say no?
So-
He's the best at urban planning now.
No,
as
no.
well?
So the 413 is interesting because from what I know about the 413, and I don't know much about this new development that you're talking about, but from what I remember about the 413 was this is something that the Liberals have sat on, and it's gone through 2, 3, or maybe 2 or 3 full-on reviews. Like this is the
Yes.
best path for it, and I think the Liberals have kind of even acknowledged it, but then they took it back at some point. I don't think Doug did a whole new study to say, no, this is the one that we're going to do. I think he's using one of their existing ones that was later rejected and saying, no, we're just going to do this. You already did the studies on it. We already got the whatever on it.
So you're saying it's a previous.
I think it's a previous, or at least that's what I
Sure,
remember
mean,
one of the
we can
previous
get
ones
some
were, right?
We can follow up. I mean, I just found the.
Like,
the
I don't think he
article-
went and licensed a whole new study that favored his
I don't know.
people
It's just
within
it's
the
just
last
fun
year.
for me
Right?
to view him as a villain. I don't know what it is. So.
I think the media wants us to think he's a
He
villain.
does look like a villain.
He looks like honestly, he looks like the Penguin Mayor from Batman Returns. Come on.
No,
Look.
he's like White Kingpin.
Yeah, White Kingpin's good. So, the provincial government has formally announced its approval of certain zoning orders that will now allow 40,000 units in York region. And people say we are not ready to handle this 40,000 influx of people. And this is in Thornhill, if I'm not mistaken, or in York region. Yeah, so
that's a double-edged sword, no?
That's a lot of units, isn't it?
But that's development. That's not the 413.
We need more. We need more. Like that's not enough. Come on, Rob. You know this. We talk about real estate every fucking pod.
That's a lot of units to have in one area, isn't it? 40,000? 40,000.
We need more.
I mean, I thought we were talking about the highway. Now we're talking about him.
No, I'm just saying he's approving these things. That's what we're talking about. That he's approving certain things so close to the election.
I mean,
and I agree with Ranji. If it was a bit more spread out, even I would be a fan. I'm like, man, this guy's, getting it done. But it's just all at once, and that's the the interesting thing, right? That's what I'm saying.
I think that's the fair criticism. Like, I get the practical election point of view why he's doing it, but man, if you want to actually like for the welfare of fucking Ontario, you should have spread this out and done it over the many years because it could have impacted fucking real estate projects.
To be fair, this guy had to deal with Corona for the last 2 years. That took precedence over everything else. He could just be like, "Look, this is stuff that we had being worked on."
But there's stuff that in relation to me as well that could have been done. It has nothing to do with it. And it wasn't him. It's been governments of the past. I just don't like the narrative. Like I've done everything and I've done in the last month. Like sure.
I mean, I've already expressed where I feel about that. But here's one thing I think about Doug that doesn't.
Nobody stopped building during fucking COVID. Okay, they did for like a few months and that was it. People were still building.
Here's the thing I think.
Went to work.
I feel this is where Dougie gets kind of mislabeled or not the fair shake. Is there's a predisposition that the media says what he's doing is dumb, and they paint it as, look, he's ignoring the science table, he's ignoring these guys. But you look at every other province or like you weigh it against, you're like, hold on. And you're even you're weighing it against what people themselves are saying generally, like what people are wanting. If he takes the popular side with the people, the voting population, and even if the science table disagrees with it, that's his job as a politician. Be a voice for the people.
Do you think some of the decisions he makes are, let's say, for example, donors? Let's just say you don't think a little bit he can ever make a suspect decision, like hiring his friends into high level positions, his nephews getting high paying jobs when they have no experience. Like, should I just keep going?
No,
right?
you
Are we
can.
saying he's like perfect?
I'm
on
saying
that side?
no.
He's
I'm
clearly
saying
made mistakes.
No. I'm saying don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Every friggin' politician does this.
Yes,
but why are we overcritical of him doing it?
I just think it's the way he does it. All right, I'm still pissed about the shovel, so I'm not gonna go back there. But with the zoning thing, it is interesting. So they use this fast track method to approve zoning, and they've used it, the Conservative government, 44 times, according to the Auditor General, in a 2-year period. Prior to this period, they were only used about once a year.
Getting shit done.
Honestly,
or bypassing laws, just like
no, Robbie.
Bypassing a bureaucracy.
Underutilized tool. That's what it is.
Okay.
It was always around, okay, but the province would be like, "Fuck it, we're not gonna flout our jurisdiction. We're gonna leave it up to municipalities," and it would be so slow. We're no longer in the territory where we can be slow on housing development.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. It's just the way it's done.
So if
how would you want it done?
Over the course,
I want the information about the land so I can buy the land, and then maybe make some. That's what I'm really mad about. I'm mad I wasn't in.
If they're doing this a lot over the last 4 years, that's fucking great. I hope let's say your worst nightmare, Douglas doesn't get reelected. The next government should fucking continue this pattern. This pattern of issuing MZOs to fucking speed along progress, man. Fuck.
But I mean, talking about the Douglas losing, I don't know if you guys read this. Even though like most people don't even know who Steve, I forgot his last name, the Liberal, is. Their Liberals are still competing and supposedly in polls, and no one even knows who the leader is. They just hate Doug. So he has a little bit of hatred on him, you know.
I mean,
So
people hating him isn't the surprise. People were booing him when he was at the Raptors championship parade, right?
Yeah.
There's no surprise that there's a segment of the population of snowflakes who hate Doug Ford.
Snowflakes. Ooh.
You know, you can't help people with like, you know, very soft tendencies to.
I'm not mad at what's happening. I just don't like. I just think the dude is stick to shoveling.
I mean, look, I look at every government, and I think I'm pretty fair for across the board for my thing that all politicians.
Fair. You've been on PP like no tomorrow, my friend. You fair.
No, I am the most fair and balanced person here.
Second,
look,
fair,
hold on.
I don't know about fair.
I'll say this. You guys want to shit on Doug Ford for everything. The friggin' NDP just ousted a sitting MPP because he didn't fit a certain demographic in his riding. I know we kind of mentioned this, but this thing blows my mind because he officially announced that he's going to be sitting independent now, right? He quit the NDP party. And I remember
Kevin Yard, right?
Kevin Yardy.
Yardy?
I thought it was Yardy, but Kevin Yardy. Like all party, like if Doug Ford did the exact same thing, the NDP would have their friggin' flags up and they'd be marching and they'd be like, "This is racist. This is bullshit. You guys need to," you know, they'd be like holding health groups, support groups, and doing like, for anyone traumatized by this decision, you know, we want to set up clinics for you guys to talk. This is bullshit. Like we legit.
How you really feel about the far left, Shinda?
No, it's not the far left. What I'm saying is the far left is just as corrupt as the far right. They're the exact same motherfuckers. The right and the left. All politicians have the same MO. They're a business. The parties are businesses. They're trying to raise funds. They're trying to, you know, they want to get elected to change policies, but those policies affect their donors and their
like
base.
Doug.
You know, Doug, just like Doug, just like Wynn, just like McGinty, who had to shamelessly resign, like, you know, gracefully, and let Wynn jump in because he didn't want his scandals and shit plaguing the party.
So they're all corrupt. We can agree they're all corrupt, right?
They're all corrupt. So when people are like,
I was just highlighting the Douglas corrupt. That's all I was doing.
My takeaway is Shinda hates the new guy, the new NDP candidate.
No, I don't care.
That's the takeaway.
I don't hate.
He's a Punjabi guy.
No. I don't hate him. I don't like him. I don't do anything. What I hate is the NDP for the longest time were the party preaching, "We are holier than thou. We are the choice of," and I'm like, you guys are just as fucked up as everyone else. Just admit it.
Politics.
No,
Politics,
sir.
Man.
We are the sickest. We are the most in line with Sikh values. We have zero corruption in us. Our MO is, you know, we're gonna be the people's voice of the downtrodden. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Like, this isn't who you are. You are who you are when push comes to stuff. They got a little bit of power. Made official opposition, and they're just as corrupt as everyone else. Fuck them, man.
This message has been officially sponsored by the Conservative Party of Ontario.
Look, all I'm saying is
it's a fair criticism, man.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, it's all corrupt. That's the way I'm looking at it, right? So.
Yeah, what they did with Kevin was pretty fucked up.
You know, I guess speaking on the and liars and whatnot is one more thing about Ontario. The Liberals are proposing a handgun ban. Any thoughts on that?
Reddy, how's your mom feel about this? This is what I want to know.
I haven't told her. She'll fucking want to move, man. This is crazy.
Who is this? Like, your mom?
Remember the one who told him he's soft for not having a gun?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Fair enough. I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, look, to be honest, like, I don't think she cares if it's a rifle or a handgun. But
just be a man, be a banda.
Just have one. Yeah, exactly. But this is crazy. Like, this fucking knee jerk. Is Canada anti-gun? Is that what we
100%.
100% it is, man. You know how many Sikhs I have that are anti-gun that are like, why do we even need guns? I'm like, bro, it's part of our religion. Yo, those times are gone. Like, people are so anti. We've been brainwashed to be anti-gun.
Would you want to be in a place where guns are openly held with your kids?
Yes.
Really?
Licensed, yeah.
Not unlicensed, just guns.
If I went to India and I saw people with like, holsters, it would not bother me. I wouldn't be like, "Oh, my son, be careful. That man might shoot you." Oh, son, nah, man. Look, if I'm much more comfortable being around sane people, whether or not they have guns, knives, shastar, non-shastar, than I am with people who pretend like they're your friend and hide them.
With me, I gotta qualify with it depends. Okay, so in India, if licensed people are carrying guns,
Like your security guard, the guy you hired.
or the average person, okay, I'm comfortable. But in the States, I'm not, and it's not because I am more comfortable with India. There's a culture of guns that is different in the U.S. and different in Canada. Or sorry, different in India. I'll give you an example. India has what, 1 billion people? How many fucking school shootings have you heard of? Or people, someone showing up at work and fucking shooting up everybody?
Mhm.
That's not there. There's a cultural fucking difference between the two. Whereas in the States, you know, they have a different culture. They do have
Yes.
these school shootings, these work shootings, these
Church shootings.
some guy shooting up the fucking the subway or New Brooklyn subway line, right? Like a shooting there. They have this like idea of going postal and like then committing
Yeah.
suicide that not doesn't exist everywhere.
It's not in
So
our
there-
it's not in our fabric, if you will.
So-
Right?
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, so the gun itself, like I'm okay with guns as long as they're carried by responsible licensed people. But where there's open carry, I do have an issue with that. So
Yeah.
so
So-
USA, no, like something's up there. The culture's fucked up. It's not.
my
It's weird.
my take on the whole thing is that when if we're talking about reducing the crime rate, I mean that's the assumption that these guys are taking, is that we need to reduce gun crime. Firstly, if we're talking about mass shootings, usually these people are not carrying just one handgun. They're strapped. They have everything with them. The other thing is that most of the gun crime is not committed by legal gun owners in Toronto. So the law sounds idiotic to me. Like you're going after legal owning gun owners. Let's say you have your license, you go through the training, and now you're going to ban handguns. Most of those handguns are obtained illegally through cross-border, acquisition, if you will. And so you just saying that we're going to ban this and hopefully we're going to reduce gun crime is so idiotic. Why don't you actually go after the crime and the sources and come up with a real plan?
Yeah.
But saying you're just going to ban handguns because, this is going to reduce illegal gun activity, like that's so stupid. And I think we've heard that already. It hasn't really helped lately in the city, so it's not working. So I'm not falling for that liberal promise, personally.
feel
Yeah, 100%.
So I feel like there's certain things that people know people want. People want to feel safe. And so you're like, we want to make you feel safe. We're going to ban. Guns have been illegal for how long? Guns are illegal. It's illegal to own illegal guns.
Illegal guns, yes.
The people committing crimes aren't committing crimes with legal guns. They're committing crimes
Yes.
with illegal guns, guns that are already prosecuted and you
Yes.
go to jail for owning. And the people would get charged for that. Like nothing's going to come of this. And I think everyone's starting to feel and understand that. And I just think Del Duca's he's trying to find something that he can.
Well, he can't do anything, right? He can't propose anything, so he's just saying things that sound nice. So,
Yeah,
if you're a left-leaning urbanite and you are completely against guns in all of its forms, legal or obviously you're going to be against illegal guns, that sounds great. So it's going to make you gravitate towards their kind of message, if you will, right? So,
You know what it is? The left-leaning anti-gun person. They conjure an image when they think of the people who have guns as these right-wing hicks or really right-wing conservatives.
Shinda's friends.
Yeah, the Shinda's crew. But look, I mean, there's a lot of like people who would identify as liberals who are gun owners, but there's just a culture of like being very conservative, not open about being gun owner, right? In Canada, I think if people started getting out there and publicize, I'm a gun owner, but I'm pro fucking social services, pro fucking immigration, and left leaning policies,
Yeah.
and that image will be hard to fucking reconcile. And then all of a sudden,
But is that
cultural change or perception around legal gun ownership.
You guys ever watch?
Is that perception from the U.S. though, because we're so inundated with their kind of NRA talk, and they're anti-gun. If you're Democrat, you want gun registration, or you're anti-weapons or Second Amendment. And if you're Republican, so therefore you're right wing. And there's a picture that we have now, which has been intensified, or let's say cemented to the Trump supporters of what a right wing supporter is, or pro-gun. I think that has a lot to do with it. It's not actual fact. I don't think, if someone has a legal, the process you're going through to obtain a license, when I read through it, that makes me more comfortable. And it's not like we don't have you're going to walk through the mall with the holster and a gun. That's not the idea in Canada. So I think if people really did their research maybe a bit, it's not an issue.
I think when I first heard it, I thought maybe there was this stat that showed that a lot of gun crime or a lot of illegal guns are obtained by legal gun owners, or they're stolen guns that end up in the wrong hands. But I was asking someone about that. They're like, no, in Canada, most illegal guns, most guns that end up in the street and street crimes are actually coming from the US.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, are those ones stolen? I mean, it's not this thing doesn't solve a problem. I don't know if you guys watched How I Met Your Mother. Funny show back when I was younger. I don't know how, it's like 10 years old. It blows my mind how old some of these shows are.
They got a new version of it, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, I Met Your Father. Yeah, horrible.
How I Met Your Father.
On Disney Plus, who does not sponsor us. So if you choose to watch it, whatever.
Download
it. No, I'm not. I was going to go there, and then I realized that might not be very kosher. No, but there's a scene where Robin, who was like this democratic, very left-leaning individual, it turns out she has a gun, and her friends are like, "Oh, you have a gun?" She's like, "Yes. I'm Canadian, whatever. I come from a rural area." Like, they're like, "But you're left." Like, there is this very left people don't like guns, right? People like. I think we've given the right, or we've given certain things that shouldn't be just given over. Like, gun ownership shouldn't be a left-right issue. It should kind of go beyond that, in my opinion. And
I think, you're right on that. I think what's happened is, though, the narrative has been the protectionism of gun ownership, or gun rights, if you will, has always now deemed to be defended by the right, whereas the left doesn't lean that way. And that's just the story now. So if you're liberal, you automatically, some people are just, I'm anti-gun.
Yeah.
You're not really thinking about it, right? So, I mean, but, yeah.
What's gun crime like in, what's the gun crime like in UK, where guns, they don't have a gun culture? Is there a gun crime?
It's the knife crime that's scary.
Knife crime is high.
But to be fair, in Australia, remember, they did ban all guns and gun crime went down. So, I mean,
I think we're in a weird place, because a lot of our guns are coming from America, where they're always in
America, yeah, and they're coming in pieces, and they're being put together. So, and they're coming from suspicious sources where they've been used in past crimes, like stuff like that. And you're like, okay, well, we have an internal issue, so let's fix that first before we get on legal gun problems. But yeah,
talking about weird legalities. You see this whole stat on the number of sitting MPs, both liberal, conservative, whatever, owning investment properties that they want to fight against.
PP.
It's not just PP though. It's like they did this whole thing. How many liberal MPs, sitting MPs, did it across the board? I think most were like majority of the liberal caucus currently has an extra investment property or something. PP's obviously had it, and the reason PP really came under fire for it was he was blaming people owning these investment properties. So he caught,
and he's one of them. He's literally one of them.
I mean, it's the hypocrisy of politicians, right?
Millhouse is lying to everybody.
And I liked it. The thing I liked most about the confrontation is how it broke down his character. Right? Like, he couldn't think of what to say or how to defend it. He's just like...
Confidence was gone. His balls shot up into his chest. It was, like, so funny.
He's like, how do you guys know this information?
But yeah, I mean, even with like the whole, like, maybe interesting on both sides, even the liberal side, they're always like anti-corporation and, tax avoidance. It'd be great to find out, I'm sure they're all doing it too.
Why wouldn't you?
It's legal, right? Why wouldn't you, right? So, I mean, but they're talking about it, but as if they're painting the brush that everyone else is a bad guy when they're participating and sipping the coffee too. So, come on.
No. Look, so I think
it's PP who's fucking saying people are doing this, a bad guy.
PP's making pure videos about it. Yeah, PP's.
He's taking the stand that, like,
I told you he was going to shoot himself in the foot.
I mean, it's only a matter of time, right? You give them enough rope, they're going to hang themselves with it. No, he has to own
No, the best is he came out. He goes, "My wife's a savvy investor." It's like, bro, that's literally what we're talking about. Is that the investors are coming gobbling up real estate, and then he's pricing out the regular Canadian, and he's defending it. And you're like, you're just not getting it.
The fucker said with a straight face that my wife, when he's like, your wife pulled out 450K in equity
Yeah.
and used it to purchase investment properties, like it was a responsible investment. Yeah, like you can fucking afford 450 like that. It's very fucking responsible. No, bitch, you did it because the fucking interest rates were low.
And to buy more housing and to price
Yeah,
out
buy more
another
housing.
normal
Exactly.
Canadian out of buying a house, which now you're
Exactly.
preaching. Come on, it's all. He got exposed. He needs to change the narrative. I bet you he doesn't talk about housing for a while. So the interest
fucking
rate.
somebody has to teach him what the economics behind the new fucking platform are going to be.
I don't know. All I know is Shinda.
doesn't really
I
understand.
can't see Shinda's PP poster in the back anymore. So we'll see if that goes up again.
I mean, look, man,
towards
I have no
next
problem with. I don't have a problem with politicians being exposed, especially ones that have preach on a holier than thou platform. So yeah, fuck him for that, especially. Right?
Whoa.
No, man, like, look, you own me.
Douglas
I'll
next.
hold that.
Douglas next.
I don't look. I'll criticize the. There's a lot I could criticize the Douglas for.
Yes,
but
yes.
You never have.
It's
You
because I
love- you love
legitimately,
Would you hug him, shake his hand? Would you hug him or shake his hand?
dap him up
Give him a
still.
puppy.
No, me and him would dap up.
D.
I just don't get behind that Doug's any worse than what we've had and what we could have.
Yeah, fair enough. I can agree to that. I can agree to that. 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And so on that note, it's kind of like, why would I criticize him when I'm not voting for Del Duca? Del Duca's doing stupid shit right now, man. This guy trying to like pretend like he
But
didn't have his
Yeah,
pool built in his back.
he's not winning. Look, Douglas winning. We all know this. I'm just venting while I can
I
before
do
the
think-
truth comes out.
I do think
But-
what PP did, that's a huge L. I think is jokes.
Dude,
You know,
PP, like that's a big fumble, man.
I don't know if you guys have the same groups because I'm constantly getting in I don't know what the word I want, but I'm constantly getting messages from all sides of like people involved with different campaigns. Because I have friends involved in PP's campaign. I have friends involved directly in PB's Patrick Brown's campaign, PB and J. And
Peanut
so
butter.
like
I see
we
what you
saw,
did there.
so
he's brown and he's peanut butter.
and he has a J in his corner. And so what's going on is UK announced that, you know, we're going to really help India crack down on Khalistanis and Khalistan terrorism. Boris Johnson or whatever, they announced that shit. And a Ford started coming around in my group saying, look, this is why we need Patrick Brown in office because he's pro and sides with us. And having someone on the inside, we could prevent this kind of statements and pandering from our friends, right? And I was laughing at that because I'm like, look, Patrick's friends with everyone. He's friends with the BJP guys too. Maybe I mean,
He's a politician.
he's a politician, man. If it's works in his favor to make something like that, I'm sure he would do it too, right? It's just funny because everyone's pretends to be holier than thou, and that's what I kind of hate. But
But anyways, can you guys did you guys see the whole Millhouse PP thing? That he looks like Millhouse from Simpsons, and I can't forget it either. I agree with the tweet.
Yeah.
I was like, what an amazing tweet.
when Millhouse grows up and he becomes PP, I saw the tweet. I didn't see the.
Yo,
That's
dude,
funny.
he got a full pension at 31 years old.
That's respect, man.
A full MP's pension.
What do you mean? He hasn't done anything, brother.
That's nuts.
If I was smart enough to get a full pension, I would have. I
He
didn't.
was
I didn't choose
we're
not to get a
just-
full
we're just gonna-
pension.
I'm hating. I'm hating. That's pretty sick.
Look, man, I wouldn't have. It's not like I chose not to get a full pension. If I had the means and the know-how to do it, I would have done it, man. Who wouldn't?
That's
The fact that he did, congrats, bro.
It's fucking crazy that's what he got. He's literally done nothing in his life except be MP. It's fucking crazy.
Hey man, Mully man, Grace MP.
You know, what'd be
Greatest
awesome.
pension. I think his pension is one of the highest pensions. It has to be. How many times
know-
did he win? Like 7?
Yeah, no, but your pension doesn't go up based on terms, right?
No,
Isn't
it does. It's every term you win. Additional. It gets capped, I think, but
Okay.
I think it's like if you win
I
2
think after you
terms,
win-
that you get more.
I think
No, it's
the
just-
Mully's gonna be up in the top range, man. Whatever it is, I think he won like 7 times straight.
Anyways, man, Bonded of the week. What you guys thinking?
Bonder of the week is that for me, my nomination is the idiot man who tried to get in some tussle with Mike Tyson on a plane. You aggravated Iron Mike. What did you think was going to happen? Be it
Hold
you're
on.
drunk or you're not. Come on.
I see.
Tyson is not the bunder. The guy who got punched in the face is the bunder. Come on.
So I agree with you, but don't you see that you're talking about
No, don't bring up Will
irritating
Smith.
someone and then punching someone? You're okay with someone pissing off Mike Tyson and him punching him?
No.
Yeah, it's like punching a bear in the face.
That's nothing close. I know you have a fucking crush on
Will
Jada
Smith,
Pinkett.
man.
No, it's Jada. He's a fucking crush on her. I think
Red
he just
table. We should nickname this Red
rubbing
Table
her
Talk.
head. He wants to rub her head or something. But look, what that kid was doing to Mike Tyson. Okay, that was way different than the Chris Rock joke. Okay, that was fucked up. The guy was in his face, fucking poking the bear, fucking kept on going. Tyson showed crazy restraint. This is complete fucking opposite of what happened on stage at the Oscars. Okay, he's not a mental midget. I'm fucking surprised Tyson didn't fucking knock him out right away. That guy kept on just the full video. He kept on fucking bugging him the whole time. He wanted that to happen. He was trying to instigate him, try to get a rise or reaction, and he got one.
He's like, I could get a lawsuit. He was hoping that, he
pretty
was
much.
like, maybe I can. I don't know if Tyson has that kind of money to, if he's even worth suing like that.
I mean, it was a JetBlue flight, I think. So, I mean,
What's this guy's? I remember I was reading something. The guy's like, I just asked him if I could get an autograph.
No.
yeah.
Like,
no.
I mean, I'm
Stupid.
sure he got something
Like,
better, right?
I was in Vegas years ago, and we were in Caesars in a club called Omnia, and like downstairs they have this hip hop room. So literally, a lot of celebrities there. Ray Allen was there, and literally I turned from the main dance floor, and like standing on the side of the club is Mike Tyson. He's literally just standing there, kind of by himself with his security guard, but he looked pissed off. I didn't even acknowledge the man. I just walked by. I'm like, he does not look happy. I know better to get in a tussle with this guy and say, "Hi, Mike." He might just go after me. He might bite my ear off. Come on, how stupid can you be to tussle with Mike Tyson? I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Thank you, sir. I would not have. That guy deserved it, straight up. You what's it called? You poked a bear. That's
What
the
you
saying.
props for is like it looks like he can take a fucking punch. Like he was smiling after, so
I don't think Tyson unleashed
Yeah,
Tyson
but
on
I
him.
don't think Mike gave him the proper punch. It wasn't he being held. Like the video kind of looked like the guy was holding onto Mike's arms. Like, he was kind of doing this, wasn't?
I think he was wailing on him.
Oh, was he? Okay.
I don't know. A guy I would never want to take, no matter how old he is. He could be 95 years old. I will not volunteer to take a left hand from Mike Tyson.
Yeah, exactly.
I grew up seeing what Mike Tyson did. I have like this weird, not weird respect, but I have this really fearful admiration for what he can accomplish if he wanted to. Even at whatever age he is. People you don't fuck with in life, Mike Tyson has to be number one.
Yeah,
I agree.
agreed.
So yeah, definitely Bundle of the Week. Who else? PP, he I guess you hold his
Boris is a bonder. They're all bonders. Put them all in there.
Mention PP.
Man, Goats of the Week.
Yo, I got nobody.
I got nobody this week.
Probably
Yo,
just
the UK
fucking
guy, the
Dylan
UK
Cheema,
man.
Yeah,
Yo, guy.
Dylan Cheema, give it to him.
yeah.
Yo,
All right.
he's repping
Go
the
to the
community. He won a title. This is what I hate about boxing. So many fucking titles. I never know what title means what. Like, didn't
Whatever,
your boy?
he won something.
What your cousin's a boxing championship? This guy's a
Canada,
boxing.
yeah.
I mean, when do we get to see these guys fight? Are they even in the same weight class? I don't know. Brown on brown violence. I don't even know.
Let's see. Let's
super
see.
fight.
Let's make a fight happen.
The Punjabi super fight. Randy's
the
gonna
Punjabi?
go.
Here's
Randy's
a
gonna
match
grow some hair. He'll be. He'll have that white thing on that Mike Tyson's promoter had.
now that I know you're into bald heads, I'm gonna fucking keep it like this.
All right, man. You guys got anything else you want to talk about, or
And that you bring the
plug?
tail.
Yeah.
Yo, I've never. How does Malish feel like on a bald head? Does it feel
It's
as good?
amazing.
Huh. Never something I never thought about. Anyways, I got nothing else to say. Really plugging.
I got no other
nothing to-
plugs.
Ain't like any of y'all watching my Twitch.
Nah. Nah.
Oh wait, I do. I don't know if you guys. I do want to recognize someone. I mean, you guys probably know him. This artist named Icky. Have you guys heard about this Punjabi kid?
Yeah.
Nope.
He's on the. I knew nothing of him. I was listening to a new Diljit song, and I thought he
no.
was the singer, and he says the N word. I'm like, what's this Punjabi idiot kid doing? Right? I'm like you're on this huge platform. You got Tory Lanez, you got Diljit, and you say. And I searched. He's actually some kid producer, and he's that comedian Santar. What's his name? That it's his brother. It's his younger brother. And if you look at this track listing, this guy's been producing like crazy, and he's only a young kid, man. And yeah, props to him, man. I thought it was him singing, but he's actually the producer. So
I can't
felt
tell
really
if you just
stupid.
like shit on him and then
No,
give him
I,
mad respect.
no, I felt so stupid. I'm like, I looked at him like, man, I'm out of the scene, man. I got to get back into my Punjabi music. But man, very impressive, and I think he's from Brampton, so kudos to him.
Yeah, he's carved out a nice little like career for himself so far. So yeah,
Yeah,
sick
man.
to see that.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know if we're praising him or shitting on him because I feel like you
No,
did both
I'm
right
praising,
there.
I'm 100% praising the man because I thought
Is he allowed to drop
initially
the
I
N
thought he
bomb?
was
Is that
just
that
like-
what you're saying?
what?
Is he allowed to drop the N bomb?
No, I just thought it was just some Indian. I'm like, you idiot. And then when I listened to him, that was Tory Lane singing, and he had modified his voice, so it wasn't him actually singing. He's just a producer.
I got
So-
you. I see what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'm giving
okay.
him props, not dissing him.
I was just curious. I didn't know which way you were going with that.
Just like PP.
All right. On that note, man, please continue to share our podcast with whoever you think might like it, even if they might not like it. And if you think this podcast will aggravate them, more reason for you to make them listen.
Or even better, invite them as a guest.
We need snowflakes listening to us. We need to try. Someone needs to try to cancel us, and then
Someone
we'll
needs
get
to
out there.
cancel Shinda. You just called every NDPers out there. No, there must be one of you who supported the Singh Brothers campaign. He just called you a bunch of snowflakes. I welcome you to correct Shinda and his.
You know what? I'm
Right-wing
always
news.
fearful because I don't do much research, as it's apparent, right?
Oh,
Someone's
you
gonna
put it
come
out
on
there
here.
just like a tweet. You put it out there. So
See what happens.
calling the NDP.
Y'all
Someone put
gonna
up the
have me
NDP
like
button.
doing like a night cram session to like prep for a podcast just so I have like facts. Listen, man, you're not gonna change how I feel about anything. I'm telling you, save your time. Don't come in here trying to make me. If you come on here trying to dunk on me, I'm just gonna call you a pussy. Fuck you. On that note, peace.
Peace.